Poetics, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Evolution?
We both up. We both getting ready to get into this, man. How you feeling?
I made it.
uh,
I made
all
it.
right, let's go ahead and get it rolling, man. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Uh, Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. On my side right here, we got Mr. Poetics, and I am Evolution. We are your co hosts for today's show, like we are every show. Excuse me. We got an exciting title today that my man Poetics came up with for today. We're excited about getting into it, man. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get the sponsorship out the way. Um, JG's Lounge, TGBTG, Golden Diamond Productions, and Vibe. VYV comes in a little vial. You shake it, sniff it, and it gets you alert and ready for the day. You want to support that, support the show, get you a little discount. Go to myvibe.com, type in Lucian15, and we will appreciate all that you do. Speaking of appreciation, we appreciate y'all tuning in, whether now or later. Poetics, you got anything you want to say before we get rolling?
Just to basically echo those sentiments, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we appreciate you guys every week.
All right. How about a little music in the background, bro?
Sounds good to me.
Let me see what we got on here. Let's get some things going here. Sound good right there?
Yep.
All right, that'll work, man. Let me get these comments going. And all right. Wow. Early Saturday morning in Kansas City. And the title for today is A High Quality Earner Doesn't Equal a High Quality Person. Man, just off the title, Poetics, what you got, man?
Man, it's so much that we can basically say. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just ready to get right into it. I
All
mean,
right, man. All right, man. You came up with this title, man. And when I heard it, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that'll do it. That'll get it going. So I was really liking the title, getting a good vibe off of it. So the first thing we got to go on, a high quality earner doesn't equal a high quality person, is number one. All money is not good money. What you got for that?
yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta, when we earn money,
Mm,
sometimes you gotta understand that just because it's there and it's available to be made doesn't mean you should actually take the opportunity to try to make that, at that particular time, because for many different reasons, it could be maybe it's ill gotten
mm,
or illegal.
mm.
Um, or maybe you just have to do too much to earn it, right?
Whoop! There it is. It's been a while since we heard that term. Man, doing too much to get it. Wow. Um, man, let me put my little thought process on that, man. And I'm gonna kind of just bounce off of what you presented already. I got this idea as you was talking. If you're walking down the street, right, and you find a few bucks on the ground, uh, no any amount, and maybe you're by yourself and nobody's around, you pick it up, you put it in your pocket. It's probably all good, right? Uh, let's say you're walking down the street and there's a big bag of money that kind of fell out of a money truck. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, you can pick it up, but probably the smart thing to do is to turn it in because they usually have those little triggers in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you be excited and whatnot, and then it explodes on you, and you're like, maybe not such a good idea, right? Um, but even then, there's a finder's fee. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or if you roll up on some thug bones, you know, or some people who are gangsterific, and they offer you a proposition, you probably would want to walk away from that one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
uh, eh, I got another thought, but I think I'm gonna leave that alone. I just say it'd be kind of doing too much for the money. I say it like that.
I think most of us can kind of catch the drift.
All right, man. You got anything else you want to elaborate on that one?
No, man, I think we did a pretty good job of kind of getting that point across.
All right, cool, cool. For those of y'all that's just tuning in, Poetics and myself, Evolution, are talking about the title today. A high quality earner does not equal a high quality person. Uh, so, number two is money can be the root of all evil in the wrong hands or in the wrong state of mind. What you got, bro?
Wow. You know how they always actually, me and popular culture, so I'm gonna go here.
Okay.
And of course in the movie Spider-Man from
Mm-hmm.
Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
there's that statement that with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, absolutely.
So obviously if you have an excess amount of money or wealth, obviously there's a responsibility that comes with that.
Mm,
Otherwise, it won't last you too long, or
mm,
you'll simply mismanage it and whatever, or you'll just run through it too fast. So
right.
you definitely want to make sure that you're making, I guess, wise decisions with that wealth.
True that, true that, true that. I got a different angle, man, because when I came up and how I came up around the people that I came up with, they literally looked at money as evil, bro. And I
Man,
was like, what? But they that's how they looked at money, man. It's just if it was evil, and you know, your pursuit of money was, also an act of evil, man. It kind of
wow.
it kind of threw me then, and it throws me now. Actually, because we need money to live, right?
Right.
But honestly, bro, after getting a little wisdom behind me and seeing little things about life, to me, that was kind of their excuse to not even pursue a better quality life. What you got, bro?
Actually, man, it's perfect that you stated that. You kind of
Mhm.
set me up for a pretty nice live here. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Man, they kind of misinterpret things when
Hmm.
they read out of certain books. If
Boy,
I know you know what I mean.
I do.
Um, so that they'll come up with that statement of money is the root of all evil, and it's kind of
Mhm.
like, well, you didn't read the whole sentence.
Exactly, exactly.
For the love of money.
There it is.
That you got to kind of make sure that you read the whole entire context of
Yeah, absolutely, man.
the statement, because when you love money or you're in love with money, yeah, you'll definitely do a lot of evil just to get your hands on it, right? But
Absolutely.
money itself is just simply a tool.
Exactly. A tool, man, to use to gain or prosper or just live. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna take another little spin off of that because there are other people that I came up around who felt like money was evil, but from a different point of view. Uh, I guess their thought process was like the more money you get, the more problems you have,
Mm,
or the type of people that kind of gravitate towards you when they know you have money. In other words, money problems. So, what you got for that, bro?
that's a good point, man. More money, more problems,
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, man, that's definitely true. And people kind of have a tendency to try to hang around people that have money. just so they could say they were seen or being associated with that type of person. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because the statement guilty by association.
Boy.
So you can kind of use that in every aspect of life. So people think, okay, just because two people are kind of mixing together and hanging,
Mm-hmm.
both of them, one of them might have money, so someone else might assume, yeah, that other person has money too.
Absolutely.
Not always the case, but it's definitely something to think about.
True, man. And when you said that, I was thinking about all these celebrity entourages. Usually there's one person who's either generating the money or has the money or both. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then everybody else are just groupies or just hanging in there to support or follow, or like you said, just be in association with that person so they can be identified as a super successful person as well, man. What you got on that? Anything?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's definitely what we've been stating. Like, you think of people like a MC Hammer from back in the day, and how he had
Oh,
the incredible large entourages, and yeah. Go ahead.
had to take a swig on that one, bro, because I had no idea he was gonna go there. But man, MC Hammer is an interesting case, man. He was a very generous person with his money, uh, overly generous uh, to a degree on certain things, man. But yeah, man, that was a whole story, a whole nother story, I guess I could say. But I want to
Yeah,
elaborate on that,
I
but I
know,
don't want to.
right?
I don't want to get off the topic, bro.
Right, right,
so,
right.
so I'm just gonna push on through that, man. We will have to highlight that on another time. uh,
Absolutely.
kind of, you see me working with it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
uh, so number three, if you get the right one and empower them, they can grow to be a top money producer. What you got for that, bro?
Yeah, man, I think that's a great point because um I've stated this on a previous podcast that we had, and I'm gonna keep kind of driving this point home.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that talent is equally distributed in the world.
Okay.
Opportunity isn't.
Mm.
So when you're in a position where the opportunity presents itself, whether through your
Mm-hmm.
efforts or through the efforts of someone else,
Mm-hmm.
when you're able to actually get to that other side,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing because sometimes you look at it and you say, man, I remember when I was at this point and when I was
Mm-hmm.
struggling, and then you get to the other side and you're like, okay, this is what it feels like.
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you have that sense of gratitude in a way.
Got it, man. I think I'm gonna challenge you right here, bro.
Sure.
I challenge you every now and then, but you always say talented. I mean, sorry, talent is equally distributed, but opportunity isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say talent isn't equally distributed that, but opportunity is. What you got for that, bro?
I mean, I think that's an interesting concept, but I think we're all born, with certain gifts or
Uh huh.
talents,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where we use them, how we use them, if we use them at all.
Right,
That's one
right,
thing.
right.
But I think that everybody does have something,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of, to what degree it can be effective
Mm-hmm.
and, maybe changing things or what have you. But
Mm-hmm.
I think, when God creates us, he gives us all something to work with, right?
True, true, true.
But opportunity, I mean, there are a lot of people, man, that are in situations that they didn't necessarily put themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I may, even a situation like yourself where you kind of came from a negative in a way of
Mm-hmm.
sorts,
Mm-hmm.
and made it to ground zero,
Mm-hmm.
which was an upgrade, right?
Right.
And then from ground zero we're able to kind of excel from that. So,
Strong point, man. Strong point. However,
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
however, I'm gonna say this, man. Everyone is not born with a gifted vocal like a Whitney Houston or a Taylor Swift or Beyonce. We can go on and on and on.
Hmm.
Everyone is not born with the hands of an Odell Beckham to catch a ball or a Jerry Rice. You feel me?
Right.
Um, Everybody's not born with tremendous speed to be the fastest person on earth. Um, Everybody's not born with the ability of basketball like a Michael Jordan.
Right.
So to me, like you said, everybody's born with something, but I don't think that talent is equally distributed. Now we all have the opportunity
Hmm.
to to work on our stuff and build it to that level.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I don't think the talent is equally distributed because some people can sing their butt off, right?
Uh-huh.
And other people should never try to hit a tone ever.
Right. Right.
It's like a screeching finger going down a chalkboard type of
Right.
effect,
Right. Right.
uh, that's my take on it, bro. I think every day we wake up is an opportunity. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? I think every morning when everybody wakes up, it's an opportunity, and we're all on the same page or slate with the same start every day. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I kind of take away where we're from because, as you just mentioned, you know, my 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 start is not going to be my finish. You feel me?
Right. Right.
So to me, the opportunity is equal for everybody from that standpoint. What you got, bro?
Yeah, I think this is really interesting because
Uh,
I think I have a rebuttal for you.
okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
So, uh, I like that you used really good examples.
Hmm.
Vocalists,
Hmm.
athletes,
Hmm.
but of course, gifts and talents could be in any area or any facet of life.
True, true, true.
So it doesn't always have to be something that always necessarily places you in the limelight. You
Hmm.
could have the gift to write like poetics, or
Absolutely.
you can be incredibly evolved beyond the average person, like an
True.
evolution. uh
Nicely put. Nicely
you
put.
you can maybe be a master craftsman.
Hmm.
Maybe you just understand how to use your hands and how to build with your hands, or
Hmm.
maybe you have an ability with your mind. I mean, I think everybody literally has something
Hmm.
that you know allows them to stand out. And again, everything's not going to equate to somebody that's just ultra special in one area, like a
Hmm.
Jordan in basketball.
Hmm.
But maybe you can maybe your equivalent in writing would be maybe like the Jordan in writing.
All right.
So it's just an analysis.
Yeah, yeah, man, and a good one. A strong way to support your theory or your viewpoint, man. And that's what we do. We go back and forth, man.
I
Um,
enjoy it. I enjoy it.
absolutely. Um, I'm going to uh, move on to the next one,
Sure.
but I think we both kind of defended our points
Really
very, very
well.
well. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely, absolutely. I like how you put our name in that, though. That was real nice, real nice. The next one, money isn't everything.
Ah, man. I kind of almost live by this statement.
Okay, okay.
And it's funny because you kind of hear people who uh have money or have made it to a certain level of life.
Hmm.
When they hear that statement, they kind of rebuttal back with the only people who say that is the people who don't have it, right?
Mm,
um,
okay.
but I beg to differ, because you know money, I think people can allow money to change them, or I guess it can bring out further who you always were.
Mm, boy, boy.
So, so I think, we have to be careful with allowing money to just become the ultimate value of a person.
True. True, so true, man. And as we was talking about, money isn't everything, and your statement was something on the lines of people look at people who say that as people who don't have money.
Right,
But at one point in time, this statement "money ain't a thing" was really big in the celebrity community.
right,
People who really make money, and I think their take on it was they got so much money that it doesn't mean it's nothing. You know what I'm saying?
right.
To make it or spend it. Um, so it's a different way of looking at it. However, um, money isn't everything, man. When you take away money from life, think about what you have,
Hmm.
especially if you have a family. If you got children, if you got a spouse, if you got a family that's close knit, um, if you got a significant other that means the world to you. Um, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, we're born without money, and a baby to the world, a new infant, a newborn, is priceless, right?
absolutely.
And,
You
and
know,
what?
go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead, bro.
sorry.
Go ahead, bro. Hold your thought. And when you bring a newborn into a room, no matter where it is, bro, what happens?
Oh,
Yeah, everybody looks at the baby like, oh, it's so cute, so beautiful. What you got, bro?
you know what? It's funny because like you said, when you enter this world, you don't necessarily have all the money in the world.
Hmm.
I mean, on your own efforts, right?
Right, right, right.
Um, and of course, here's the funny thing, right? And
Hmm.
here's a aspect of that people don't often think about. When you leave this world, you can't take it with you.
Right. True that. True that.
Um, just look at the ancient Egyptian or ancient Kemetic tombs. They're
Boy.
still digging up the graves and still
Hmm.
digging up all these ancient artifacts and jewels and all that. So
Hmm.
it's like no matter what, you can't you can't take it with you. Somebody's gonna try to find a way to get their hands on what you earned anyway.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say this because it's strong in my brain right now. When you use that example, I'm thinking about not only the riches that they buried with these like pharaohs or whoever they
Uh-huh.
were,
Uh-huh.
they buried people with them, bro.
Right. Right.
I mean, can you think of the type of ignorant loyalty that goes behind that? I mean, come on, man. I
It-
can't process that type of loyalty, man. Um, I just can't. What you got for that, bro?
it's an excellent thought, man, because obviously their ideology behind it was this wealth would be able to support you in the afterlife kind of thing. But it's
Mm,
kind of like, at the end of the day, dude, you can't take this stuff with you. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
I mean, I think what it really comes down to is what is the root of the person, right?
mm-hmm.
What who you are actually with or without money is who you are, right? I mean, if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were a certain way before you had money, you'll typically probably be that certain way without money. They often say money changes you, but no, people change when you actually have money.
Mm, boy, strong point. I can't touch that, man. But yeah, I'm still stuck on the fact that these people let somebody else mummify them so they can guard this person that's no longer around and protect them and their so-called wealth after it's over. I'm like, man, that's some craziness right there. Uh, I could
So,
not be I could not be one of those people. Wow. Just a thought. We're gonna move on to the next one. A high quality person is everything. What you got, bro?
yeah, it's actually a great point. It's like everything in reverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You you understand that who a person actually is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, beyond the money, right?
Absolutely.
Because if they have a high character
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of operate and move with integrity, they that makes them high quality. When you have true happiness and not by
Boy,
trying to step on others to get there.
boy, boy.
to me, that's really a truly wealthy person, because, whether they have wealth financially or they don't, they're like, man, my joy is, unlimited, because at the end of the day, I have what I need and probably most of what I want anyway.
Man, with or without money. That's a beautiful
Exactly.
statement, bro. That's a beautiful statement. And I agree, man. It's some certain people that are out there, when you look at them, you just know that something in their life is either in line with happiness, or something about their life causes them to have great happiness or joy, because you can just kind of see it on them. You know what I'm saying? It's people out there who are always mumbling and arguing and bitter, and then there's people that are out there that are just, it look like the sun follows them. You know what I'm saying? Birds are sitting on their shoulder and chirping.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got thoughts on that, bro?
No, man, that's absolutely true. Like, there are people who, your energy kind of, carries you.
Absolutely.
So when you have a energy that's, full of positivity and, healthy,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's, you, like you said, it reflects, right? People can actually see it, and you don't even necessarily have to open your mouth, but people be like, there's something different about you, right?
Absolutely. And go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick, people who don't have that peace, whether it be inner or otherwise, you can kind of tell that maybe some toxicity may follow them. So,
boy, I'm gonna leave that alone, bro. That's a can of worms waiting to be opened. But I will say that positivity is much, much stronger than negativity, even though it's a lot more negativity out there.
Absolutely.
Exercise that in your brain. So what we're gonna do right now, bro, is get to one of our segments. We're about a third of the way through, and we like to call this one "I Didn't See It and I Didn't Heard It All." I got a couple of them today. The first one is I just thought this was cute. I thought it was cute. So 100 huskies escape dog cafe and run through Chinese mall. Can you imagine, bro?
Wow.
You in the mall getting your shop on, and you turn around and you hear this pack of huskies, like a bunch of them, just tearing through the whole mall.
Wow. That's the stampede for you right there.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine the response of people when they see all these little huskies running around?
Shoot, I mean, that's just something you just don't see every day, right?
Heck yeah, that would definitely. I would like to see a video of that.
Man.
And the people's response, like, "What the heck, man?" Oh shoot! I just thought that was cute, man.
Wow.
You got any thoughts on that one?
I think that's something I'm like literally picturing it, like,
yeah.
All these dogs, escaping and running through this mall like this, like, wow.
But can you imagine the job of somebody trying to catch them all and bring them back? Don't open the door, they're gone.
I'm sure that was an all-day event.
Oh, for real, dude. Yeah, absolutely. To say the least. The next one I got is a little different too. Involves animal. Italian mayor offers free goats to anyone who can catch them.
What?
Yeah, man. No, that sounds stupid, but check this out. A mayor of an Italian island is attempting to solve an animal overpopulation problem with an unusual offer. Free goats for whoever can catch them.
You know what's kind of amazing about that?
Go ahead, bro.
I think the amazing thing about that is when you look at various animal populations in the world,
Uh-huh.
so many of them are, on the verge of, extinction, or being, on the verge of extinction, right?
Uh-huh.
And, a situation like that where the population is so vast that if you can basically get your hands on one, it's yours. I mean,
Man, ain't that like a mayor though? Ain't that like a mayor? And something that's out of control and you don't have a solution for. You gonna offer freedom. If you can catch it, it's yours.
how about that level of being judicious, right?
Oh man, I got a million things I could say about that, but ain't that politics for you, man?
Oh man,
Boy, but I done seen it and I done
I done
heard
heard
it
it
all.
all,
Woo!
man.
Got me crying over here with that, man. So we're gonna get back into it. And today's topic, once again, is a high quality earner doesn't equal a high quality person. And our next one on the list is making high quality money or building high quality money together with a high quality person is the ultimate goal or the ultimate dream come true. What you got, bro?
Absolutely. It's like when you think about one person's focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think about, an example of just being you and I, we're one person each, and, we're very focused, and it's like, what we can do by ourselves is amazing, right?
Right, right,
But it's
right.
almost like when you meet somebody else
Mm-hmm.
that can kind of see things through the lens that you see it.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. It's a whole nother level of, accomplishment, because now instead of one brain, you've got two brains working together.
Working together, man.
Right.
Yeah. Uh that to me that's the beauty of life. You know what I'm saying? Um when you're focused on the right thing, because I think a lot of people can it sometimes focus on the wrong thing. It's only a couple of them out there, only two. Uh but I mean, if you're only looking for certain things in a partner, uh, obviously that's what you're gonna get. But if you're looking for a complete package or something that's going to be supportive to where you're trying to go, uh, your look is going to be more defined and more critical. And that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? If you have an idea of the type of person that you want to meet,
Mm.
they actually are out there, but you just gotta travel through the soot and the smog and and the trenches to find this person. You know what I'm saying? And you got to have the intellect to know this person when you see him. You feel
Mm.
that? What you
Man,
got, bro? What you
that's
got?
that's a bullseye, man. You know, yeah, man. People are, again, we live in this microwave society.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah,
everybody wants what they want, and they want it immediately, right? And
yeah.
it's like, the kind of thing that's really worth having is typically not the easiest thing to acquire, right?
Absolutely.
So you, like, to your point, you definitely have to go through some trials and tribulations.
Hmm.
Many of them so unnecessary, but maybe it builds some kind of character in you, so it's almost like you're better for it, right?
Boy,
And by the
boy.
time you actually meet this person, it was just so worth it. Like everything you actually went through in the past with
Hmm.
other endeavors of trying to make this work, trying to make that work.
Hmm.
When you meet that right one, you're like, okay, everything that I literally went through made this moment right here worth everything.
Boy. And the reason I made that other statement, you got to know what you got when you get it, is because people sometimes get that person and don't treat that person like the person that they are or could be, and then it don't work out, and then later on they're like, man, I messed that up, you know what I'm saying? Or I wish I could get that back. What's your thought, bro? What's your
That's
thought?
that's perfect, man, because it reminds me of, and I'm sure you remember this, but it reminds me of one of our concept poems where, people are literally trying to they're passing up heaven trying to find something better.
Yes, man. Oh wow. Oh wow. Uh, you want me to go or you want to go
Go
first?
ahead, man. You got it.
Man, we actually wrote that poem for a specific reason. I had my own specific reason. You had yours, but it came out beautiful. Yeah, man, that is a strong statement, and I think people may not have heard it before because it's something that we came up with. But if you heard something like that, think about that concept. You know, heaven is, as we all know, if we is designed to be a perfect place. You know what I'm saying? No issues, no problems, no defects. Uh, Nothing breaks down. Everything rolls forever. With that thought of in your mind right now, think of the type of person that would either criticize the creation of heaven
Hmm.
because they think it should be something else or this way or this is missing or whatnot, and pass on it to try to accomplish or get to something better. Ain't that a little bit weird, crazy, insane, and all that and everything else? What you got, bro?
Yeah, man. It's amazing how we as a society tend to operate
Mm, mm,
because I don't know, we're always trying to, and I mean there's nothing wrong with, wanting better and wanting to be better. I mean, obviously self-improvement is great. You always want
absolutely,
to, strive for that.
absolutely.
But in the matters of relationships, and I see it all too often,
Hmm.
there's this thing called self-sabotage.
Ooh, go ahead.
And people will literally have something really good, something really solid, something that they can actually really build on,
Mm.
but because either maybe the package wasn't presented the way they thought it would be, or the you know maybe they're just something that they're just nitpicking,
Oh,
where you're just trying to find any reason why it can't or shouldn't work. And it's kind of like, I mean, if you're literally just searching for the dirt in the snowstorm,
mm.
man, you're gonna have a tough way of trying to make a happy relationship for sure.
Man, I don't know if this is a little bit off of what you're saying, but this is what popped in my head as you were talking. You said the word nitpick. And I've had several situations, man, to where a situation was definitely just what it was. It was clear defined. That's what it was. Nothing else. And I've had individuals try to present their point of view of that scenario, which was way off or just different. I'll say that. And just continually argue that and argue that and argue that. And you're saying the same thing over and over. Nothing that you're saying is changing because that's what it is, right? But this individual or these individuals, these type of people, just argue their point of view, or they could because they want you to see their point of view, or gravitate towards their point of view, and you like in your head like, are you not listening? Are you that stupid? you know, wake up, and smell the coffee, right? Uh,
Wow.
what are your thoughts on that, bro?
I'll say it this way,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen. You have to stay away from toxicity, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and sometimes your own mind, if you're not careful, can just have toxic thoughts for no
Mm.
apparent reason.
Boy,
So it's like now you're finding yourself just arguing for the sake of arguing, and it's like,
a big waste of time.
right, I mean, you don't accomplish anything but a divide in your relationship and the potential of what it can be.
Boy.
And ultimately you may find yourself without someone.
Mm. But without everyone. Wow.
Right, man.
Wow. Let's move on. Let's move on. The next one, kind of taking a little spin off of what we've been doing. And when it comes to a high quality earner doesn't equal a high quality person, we're gonna do it like this now. Um, I'm just gonna say some things, and we're gonna kind of use that towards what we're talking about. First one is mindset, bro. You just took me right
Hmm.
there with your last statement. So let's talk about mindset. What you got?
You know, m- mindset is everything, to be
Mm,
honest with you, because it really kind of opens up that avenue for you to be able to create any kind of peace of mind that you
mm,
can have that's even
mm.
possible.
Yes,
So when you put yourself in a mindset, sometimes you have to reset your mindset, right?
boy, boy.
And totally reprogram from any and everything you may have known previously.
Hmm.
And you're like, you know what? This other way didn't work or hasn't worked for the many other people that I've seen before me. So
Mm,
let me try something different. I don't know what the results would yield, but I know what the results of what everybody else's thing has done that they're trying to get me to do, right?
boy.
So I think, having a mindset that allows you to create peace of mind will
Hmm.
ultimately allow you to be able to create, you know, um, comfortability in your finances for sure.
Sweet. I'm gonna hit this from a different angle.
Sure.
Um, in a certain group of people, mindset may be at a certain level. Let's just call that the lower level. And then let's say you go to work, and the mindset of individuals there is at a different level. Let's call that the midline level. And then you just so happen to end up in an environment. Let's just call it a seminar or some type of group setting that you end up in, and the mindset is what we would consider upper level. In each of those things that I just mentioned, each of those group settings, we do it so consistently and constantly, unconsciously, that we might not even realize what we're doing. But when we're around certain people that are, I guess, would say that lower level, and I'm not going to talk about people. Let's just say it's children, little kids. We automatically, our mindset drops to that level.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then when we are at work or around, the mediocre type of crowd, our level raises to that level, and as far as how we communicate or how we where our mindset sits. And then when we're in a group of what would be considered the elite thinkers or the elite mindset, guess what? We elevate.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts, bro?
I think it's an amazing point that you just made because there's this thing, and I might hit it from a slightly different angle too,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna try to wrap it back around.
Okay.
So sometimes, let's say you're someone who just happens to be of a higher thinking process,
Hmm.
and then you just happen to be in a situation where you're confronted with someone who may be on the lower thinking process.
Man.
Uh, I guess the beauty of life, right,
Hmm.
is you can actually meet this person where they are,
Hmm.
and if they're willing to actually elevate their mindset, right,
Yeah.
you can actually help them elevate their mindset. And there are people like that. Sometimes a lot of people are in a situation where they really don't know better, right?
Hmm.
Um, so they operate based on what they know.
Boy,
So if you're in a situation where you can kind of, help somebody with their mindset, I mean, the world will be a lot better, right?
that'd be a great place to kick it. It'd be a great place to kick it, man. But unfortunately, some people are stuck in that mindset, man.
Absolutely. It
Uh,
there are
go ahead,
some
go ahead.
there are rare cases.
And I'm gonna bring up a good one, man, because I think this needs to be mentioned and understood. And no matter what background you got, this might fit you, or you might can understand because of the type of people that you might run into. I've had situations and scenarios, man, that had absolutely nothing to do with race, and then the people on the other end that you're dealing with straight call it prejudice.
Hmm.
And I'm like, how in the world did you get prejudice out of this? You know what I'm saying? It has
Wow.
absolutely nothing to do with that, you know. And I'm just kind of shaking my head, bro, because that's where they are. And
Right.
and there's really nothing you can do with a person like that. It's everything that that person needs to do for themselves. You know what I'm saying? But if they look at everything as a prejudice scenario, they stuck, man. What you got?
Absolutely. I'll kind of actually speak to some personal experience here.
Okay,
Um, so you and I, we've kind of been blessed enough to kind of be able to intermingle in different circles, right?
absolutely.
So when you're presented in a situation where you're able to kind of have an experience that's not like other experiences,
Hmm.
and then you kind of come back and you talk to other people who haven't had your experience,
Right.
it's an amazing thing, right? Because a lot of times they're like, oh, this person is, or these type of people, like to your point, they're totally evil, there's no good within them, right?
Boy.
And it's kind of like, well, you know having my own personal experience, right?
Hmm.
They had, obviously they couldn't have my, or didn't have my experience, but it's kind of like you just know that their statement or even very thought process is incorrect.
Yeah,
I mean, I
absolutely.
understand that they haven't had the experience that I've had.
Hmm.
So for them, they're like, they don't know any better, right? It's almost like, you're dwelling in ignorance, right?
Man, are just totally off balance, bro.
Right, right, right.
Any way you look at it, I just feel bad for people that are stuck in that zone. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Hmm.
Are we doing some stuff today, bro?
I think so. I think
All
so. I think so.
right. Welcome, everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Today, we are talking about a high quality earner doesn't equal a high quality person. And right now, we're just kind of spinning off thoughts to highlight the thinking patterns of people and how they can better their thought process for that type of lifestyle. Uh, and the next one we have here uh, is limits and boundaries. Go ahead, bro.
It's so many ways you can kind of take this, but I hope I'm not getting ahead. But I can't help but go here when I think about limits and boundaries. I think it's kind of twofold, right? I
Okay.
think you have to have no limitations in terms of where you can see yourself,
Mm, boom.
because we're often raised or in the thought process of a box. As long as we stay within the confines of this box, right,
Mhm.
we're able to not rock the boat too much, right?
Man,
But
okay.
it's like, you want to think outside the box, and you want to do it to a point to where you realize this box doesn't even exist. It's
Man.
literally a box that we've man-made and created,
Hmm.
and now it's like it doesn't even exist. Like, you can do really anything you want to do because the mind is just that powerful.
Boy, and the actions follow. Man,
Right.
that's perfect, bro. Let me try to do this. I'm gonna do like a pro con thing with
Okay.
limits and boundaries. Um, as you stated, kind of, sort of. Your mind can be limited as far as what you think is possible, or what you limit yourself as far as what you feel like you will do versus what you won't do. And then there's having no limits, like you said. I'll try to give an example here. There's there's a statement. It might even be a song lyric. I will do anything, but I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Think you're right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's like when it comes to a high money earner, um, on certain things you have to be in the mindset of no limits. However, at the same time, you have to be in the mindset of having limits. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
I think that's perfect. You have to understand that you still have to create boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have any boundaries whatsoever, that's where danger sets in.
Man,
You don't
man,
you don't have any, because you don't have any boundaries. You'll do anything. Um, you'll allow anything to kind of take place because
mm,
you don't have a boundary. You don't have anything that says, all right, this is where I draw the line.
right.
This is where I say I will not do this because
Hmm.
remember, as we stated earlier, all money isn't good money.
True.
So so you definitely have to have boundaries. And it kind of reminds me real quick of a statement that Denzel Washington made.
Hmm.
He was saying that he was kind of early in his career,
Hmm.
and he said, you know, one of, I think it was another fellow actor that was a little bit, more of a veteran actor, and
Hmm.
gave him like some real nuggets and said, the roles that you take early in your career are going to define what you are throughout the remainder of your career.
Mm,
So whatever roles you accept here in these early stages are going to be the roles that they want to offer you in the latter stages.
exactly.
And it's like you basically won't be able to evolve, or you will be able to evolve based on the roles you do accept.
True.
And I think life and money actually works the exact same way.
Wow. Man. Great strong point, man. I'm gonna go here, man. As far as limits and boundaries or whatnot, let's say you have an idea, some type of creation, or even a business, and things are going well. And they're going so well that people are starting to come to you not to be a part of your business, but to buy you out.
Hmm.
Um, yes, I guess if you are aware of a lot of struggles you're having that they aren't aware of and you want to get rid of them, I would say sell and take the money and run. But if you know that everything is like a well-oiled machine and it's just getting bigger and better, I would say don't sell. And that's kind of like the limits and boundaries type of thing. What you got, bro?
It's funny, man, but I 100% agree with you.
Mm. Wow,
Because
that, ladies and gentlemen, that don't happen every day.
that, yeah, I mean, dude, when you're in a situation, again, it's all about, trying to, build some wealth if you can,
Hmm.
obviously. So if you're in a situation where, you know, maybe your idea or your business isn't, you know, kind of going the way you want it to go,
Hmm.
and someone thinks it maybe is going a certain way, I mean, yeah, sell it and, maximize, what you can out of it, right? That way you can kind of
Right.
still win in the end.
True that.
But
True that.
if you're in a situation where, man, this thing is growing and it has the potential to be the next multi-billion-dollar conglomerate,
Hmm.
but you're just kind of in the millions, you might want to, you want to hold that out because, yeah, there's no really amount of money that they'll be able to pay you that'll give you the peace of mind once you sell it to them and it takes off and become what it will be,
Man,
should I
man,
say.
right, because they got the resources that you don't have or that you're trying to get.
Right.
Um, which is the third option. Actually, you sell part of your business and let them in, so you can use their resources to. There you
I was
go.
I was thinking the same thing.
Great minds think alike, bro. Great minds think alike. So the next one you kind of hit on already. Uh, think outside the box.
Yes. Understanding again that they're simply, I mean, they're really, I think if we really got to the mindset of understanding that the box itself doesn't exist,
Hmm.
in terms of the positive side of it, right?
Hmm.
You understanding that you can do whatever it is you set your mind to do. Um, and again, that's all about positive mindset. A positive
Man,
mindset can kind of look at that box and say, yeah, it's just in the way. It's not even there. A negative mindset will look at that box and say, I have to literally stay in this thing just to be able to operate day to day.
man, this is what I got off your statement, bro. And I think this is really powerful. So hang on, y'all. Um, when you grow up in a certain environment, the thought process is actually a boxed in type of thought process, right?
Absolutely.
And then let's say you move away, go to school, or just opportunity in another area, uh, even just for different neighborhood, presents itself, and you take that opportunity. You're in a different area, but you still got that boxed in thought process. What is your thought, bro?
It kind of reminds me of me in popular culture. Uh,
Mm,
the movie Freedom Writers. When
yes.
those kids, obviously had all the potential in the world,
Hmm.
but each and every last one of them were in situations that were so disadvantageous
Hmm.
that it was just like no way they had a real shot. And then finally a teacher actually comes along who actually cares about them.
Hmm.
Imagine that, a teacher who actually cares about the students.
Right.
And to the point to where she's like, I have to take it upon myself to show them a different world,
Hmm.
to show them that there's literally something outside of their typical daily surroundings that
Absolutely.
that does exist. And it was like when she did that, right, it was kind of like it was almost like chambers in their mind just simply open and exploded.
Yeah. Hmm.
And they were kind of like, this is what's possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's just an amazing, I guess, transformation, when you kind of are able to actually know that, finally see that there actually is something different and better. And then now you're like, okay, now that I know better, I can actually do better.
Man, and I'm gonna elaborate on what you just said. You said this is possible. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they realized that anything is possible.
Right.
So when you have that boxed in thought process that maybe you grew up around, uh, or just whatever situation, even at work, man, or school, or I mean, it could be anywhere really. Just the type of people that you're around. I mean, it can even be like in a case, and you're one of the jurors. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
it was man. I'm trying to think of that movie. It was a perfect movie where all the jurors were thinking one way, and one
Hmm.
person was thinking a different way. And after deliberating and deliberating, getting on their nerves, but proving their point, at the end, all 12 jurors were seeing the way that the
That
other
the
person
other
was.
one, yeah.
Yeah. Um, that's the best way I can put it, man. When you really get more information about something, or you get a new vision of something, or you just become aware of something else, you know, it's thinking out the side of the box because you have to, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, some people just don't want to. What is your thought process, bro?
Yeah. Some people are in a thought process of, this is what it is,
Mm,
this is the way it was, and
mm,
this is the way it's just gonna be.
wow. that I want to say a certain response to that, but I got to say it a different way because that's not productive. uh, th- that mentality, I'll just say like that mentality is outdated. That mentality is Southern outdated. It's outdated. It's a Southern way of looking at things. It's outdated. I'll say it like that. Man, yeah. To say that it's always going to be this way, or to say that this is what it is, or it is what it is, or this is all you can do, man, those are statements that I try to delete from my vocabulary, because that's just giving up, man, before you even start.
Hmm.
You know, it's just rolling over in front of a train that's coming fast paced that ain't gonna stop. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm trying to I'm trying to be the engine in that train that's driving that train to move faster. You feel me? What are your thoughts, bro?
It's funny, man. Here we are. I guess we got some different views again.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
it's funny though, because I don't completely and totally disagree with you.
Hmm. Hmm.
I by and large, I probably primarily agree with what you're saying because, I mean, if you don't feel like you can bring about change, even if it's just to your own personal life, man, you know, there, if you don't have any hope for you, how can anyone else, right?
Man, boy.
Uh, on the other hand, though, I do think that there is a time and a place for everything. So, in certain scenarios, right,
Mhm.
certain things are the way they are, and if you're not in a position to directly impact it, you know, it is what it is. I know you just cringed. I know
Yeah, I
you just
did. Yeah,
cringed.
I did. Even in those situations, bro, I feel that you can be impactful. Yeah, I think
Sure.
everything we do can be impactful. And I guess that there is at some point to where what you're dealing with or what you're up against, you might feel like it is what it is. I'm done with it. I'm not gonna mess with it no more. I'm just gonna walk away,
Mhm.
agree to disagree, so to speak.
Right.
Uh, and and I get it. Those things do happen because I've done them before. I'm
Right.
dealing with an impossible person, and I mean that an impossible person. No matter what you are trying to communicate, they're just impossible to communicate with because it's just their way or,
Or
or,
no way.
or the highway or nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And people like that are sad. You know,
I've been there as well.
Yeah, man. So I do get it that in certain scenarios, in certain situations, yes, you have to just agree to disagree and walk away. That's not saying uh, I'm throwing in the towel. It's just saying
Right.
that I recognize and realize that I'm dealing with something that's impossible, that's not going to change. So I gotta just keep it moving.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I agree with you to a degree on that. All right, man. Next one, and I think we're relating right along it perfectly. Adaptability, man.
Hmm.
Uh, you have to be able to adapt when it comes to getting to a positive or high quality money earning situation or dealing with a high quality person who's a high quality money earner. You got to be adaptable because dealing with them, like it or not, is going to be different than dealing with somebody else. Um, for instance, and this man, please take this the way I'm trying to deliver it. Um, let's say a woman of a female character um, is dealing with somebody who doesn't make a lot of money
Hmm.
versus a woman of a female character that's dealing with somebody that makes a lot of money, a
Hmm.
ton of money. Her idea of thinking towards those individuals will be so different and her actions will be so different. Even if it's a dude, you know what I'm saying? It can be either or. But when you talk to a power mover, you're going to be careful about what you say.
Hmm.
When you're dealing with somebody who's not moving it much at all or moving backwards, you ain't gonna streamline nothing. You're just gonna cut through it. You're gonna hit it hard, uh, direct. What you got, bro?
I think that's a good point, man. Because I, I see a lot. I'm following a lot. I'm kind of keeping up with a lot of different things, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were ever familiar with him, but there was I guess you can call him consider him an influencer.
Okay.
His name was Kevin Samuels,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he actually passed away about a year or two ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But his niche was, I guess, kind of dealing in matters of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Certain things he said I didn't agree with, but there were other things he was like, I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think what you just described was kind of how he operated. He was
Okay.
kind of like, you know, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm going to tell. And I realize you're coming to me for advice. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to
Yeah.
spare your feelings in the process either.
Right. Right.
He was one of those.
Okay.
And it was an effective way,
Uh-huh.
of actually, it worked for him. I could say that.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it's kind of like, seeing a real life example of the
Mm,
point you just made. And it's like, I can kind of definitely compare it to that.
absolutely.
Uh, Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm waiting on you, man.
And then on another note, adaptability itself,
Hmm.
I think that's a strong word, right?
Absolutely.
Because when you're trying to get to a certain level, and I'm seeing it firsthand because of what I do for a living myself,
Hmm.
being able to switch my pitch or adapt my pitch
Hmm.
to the actual person that I'm trying to convey what our products are.
Hmm.
I've realized, man, it's really working. Like being able to not know a stranger, being able to not, being able to communicate in a way that to whoever you're speaking with, you can get the point across, and they're like, I want this product,
Yeah,
as
absolutely,
as
absolutely.
opposed to if you just stick to the same format,
Mhm.
you're gonna be cutting your legs from underneath you, if you will, because you're only gonna be able to sell to certain people. But if you can
Mm.
kind of adapt that pitch, right,
Mhm.
then you can kind of sell to a much larger demographic. So
Well put, man. Strong, strong, very strong. I like that example too. So right about now, we're about 2/3 of the way through, and we're gonna hit another segment. I know you've been waiting on this one, bro. Which would you prefer, their money or their influence? And today
man,
we are talking about Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke. Oh man, um, bro. When I looked at these two people, and I was actually leaning towards Sam Cooke first,
uh-huh,
but after I started looking at the song titles and stuff that they dropped over the years in their career,
uh-huh,
I ended up leaning more towards Marvin Gaye, which was surprising. And I had that same experience with Prince and Michael Jackson back in the day. I was big on Michael Jackson, huge, man. I dressed
mm-hmm.
like him, I danced like him. But later on in life, I realized that I had more Prince CDs than I had Michael CDs. You know what I'm saying? That's a strong statement, bro. But
Wow.
going with that, what are your thoughts, man?
What's funny? Um, I remember when you're actually the one who actually presented this topic in terms of the two people.
Uh huh.
And when you asked me what my thoughts were, I'm like, they're only my two favorite music artists ever. So it was
Yeah.
just kind of like, yeah, let's do that.
Uh huh.
It's funny because I remember you saying that you were thinking on the surface at the time that you probably would lean towards Sam.
Uh huh.
I actually knew when you probably did more research. I knowing you the way I know you, I kind of figured you probably would land on Marvin. So
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, man. But yeah, as far as money, of course, Marvin made more money. Um, but Sam Cooke ended up with decent money. Had a couple mil. Um, but dude, I looked at the song titles, man, and I just kept digging, and I'm like, yeah, Sam Cooke had some nice hits, man. One
uh-huh.
one super mega hit that I would consider super mega, which is "A Change Is Gonna Come." That song is just so powerful, man. I don't care who you are, where you are. When you hear that, it's gonna touch you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He put everything into that. But when I looked at Marvin Gaye, man,
Uh-huh.
it's like every single song title was like a super mega hit, man. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
dude, it's crazy. Uh, but yeah, I definitely ended up going with the influence of Marvin Gaye and his music. When I thought in the beginning initially it would have been Sam Cooke, man. What you got?
Um, this is great because I'm at, me, I'm going with the influence of Sam Cooke.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
You know, I've delved obviously really heavy into both of those
Hmm.
individuals for
Uh-huh.
different reasons. But Obviously, to your point, when you look at Marvin's, song titles, and I mean, man, when you talk about impact,
boy.
I'll say it this way: Smokey Robinson is on record that "What's Going On" is the greatest record he's ever heard since and before and since to this very day.
Wow.
He says he stands by it.
Bro, let me ask you this before you continue. Hold on, just
Sure.
What's the name of this podcast, bro?
Of course. What's going on, right?
All right, man. Go ahead.
Which is actually a funny thing is actually that was the first thing I thought about when you came with the title. I was like, yeah. And so it's kind of like, Marvin Gaye, man, he was different, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But the reason for my choice in Sam is that he was able to kind of do I know I understand that there was, Little Richard, but when I really think of the crossover to be able to connect R&B and popular culture, and even connect gospel to popular culture. I know Ray Charles did a little bit of that too. They were around the same time, but I just can't help but think of Sam because it's funny in the beginning when he recorded his first single, not his first hit single, but his first single when he tried to cross over, he went under the alias Dale Cook because he didn't want his gospel audience to, basically turn their backs on him if his crossover didn't work.
Right.
So, but the funny thing about it is his voice was so distinguishable. They were like, he ain't fooling nobody.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it was just like, yeah. And
that's
then
funny.
he releases, You Send Me in, 1957. And to me, man, it's one of the most important records of all time because it showed a whole race of people. We can make it on the pop charts too.
Absolutely.
So he was just such an innovator, man. He just seen things, differently,
Yes, absolutely.
And it's funny, man, to close out, you mentioned the change is going to come. But to go along with that, I have to also mention Chain Gang.
Absolutely.
Those two songs, man, are the two greatest songs ever. They just when I hear them, man, they just hit different.
They do. And what's funny is the first song on my list for Sam Cooke is Chain Gang, and the last one is The Change Is Gonna Come. But yeah, man. But to highlight Marvin Gaye real quick, man. We already mentioned What's Going On. Let's Get It On. Sexual Healing.
There are so many hits, bro.
How many movies have we seen these songs in, man?
Right.
They just go on for timeless.
Even think about the duet run he had with Tammy Terrell. Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Boy.
Your Precious Love. You're All I Need to Get By. Like they had a string of just smashes, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We can talk about that forever, man. Let's get back into it.
Right.
All right, number 11 of 15. This is interesting. This is a long one. Everyone has their present stage and their stage of growth or the lack thereof. That being said, where are you now? Where you are now, you might not be ready for a high quality money earning making life. I kind of messed it up, but you get the point, right?
Absolutely.
What is your thought on that, bro?
I think that's one of the most powerful statements ever. Because again, so many people want, this certain, lifestyle, right? But it's like, if your mindset um, doesn't move in, to equal value of the lifestyle that you want,
Mm-hmm.
you for you to actually acquire that wealth would actually be more like self-destruction.
Boy. I'm gonna go here, bro. You have people, and we hear about this every now and then. People who win like mega, multi-million-dollar Powerball
Uh-huh.
jackpots,
Uh-huh.
and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Um, and a year later, they're broke
Mm-hmm.
by more than what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I cannot imagine that, bro. But that's just the person who's not ready for that type of money. Because as soon as they get it,
It's gone.
they lose total control and they go berserk, and they're not paying attention to what they're spending. They don't care. They're making it rain. Um, I just don't understand, bro. You can't. How in the world can you spend that money? First of all, it should be there forever. But how can you spend all that money plus beyond that money? And it's been done like a lot. You know, when you look at the history of the Powerball winners, most of them are more broke than they were when they won. What's your thought process, bro?
It's an amazing I almost consider it a phenomenon because when you it's like so many people are used to not having, right?
Mm,
You got to think most of the people that hit, they're the ones, in a lot of cases, they're the have-nots. So now they become their lives instantly change, and now they're in the position of the haves,
mm-hmm,
and they don't know how to act. And for lack of a better term, they just I'm gonna go here, and I think you might be able to appreciate this. So,
mm-hmm,
are you familiar with Michael J. White, the actor?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so Michael J. White made a statement recently about the Diddy scenario and saga.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got something for it. So his statement was he was really concerned
Mm-hmm,
because he said he had met him, I guess at once upon a time,
mm-hmm,
and he said, "Man, he said when you just looked at how he was moving, he was like, man, I'm incredibly concerned because." When you're in a position of power the way he is, when you make and generate that kind of wealth the way he
mm-hmm,
does,
mm-hmm.
and so many people, or the majority of the people around you, are people who are, as he quoted, yes men.
Okay.
You don't when you don't have anybody that can just be real with you, right, and say, hey,
Right.
man, you got to check this because
Mm-hmm.
this is getting out of hand.
Right.
I, I, yeah, man, I think we just have to be careful, man, because I think for somebody to say I was concerned about that person, I think that
Mm-hmm.
actually speaks to his character, because he's like, I'm not looking at him through the lens of how everybody else is looking at this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm looking at you like you have so much going for you. You have all the tools. You've already achieved way more than the average person ever could have dreamed of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm seeing how you're operating and how things are going, and it's like, I'm like, boy, that says a lot about somebody's character, right?
It actually does, man. And you usually have somebody like that close to you or in your circle, but in those cases, are people paying attention to them, or
Right.
are they just doing what they've been doing? Yeah, man. You got to be ready for success, man. However it comes, and I want to say this, man. If you give me a penny, I'm gonna make it a dime, and I'm gonna take that dime and turn it into a quarter. Uh, and I'm gonna take that quarter, and eventually it'll be a dollar, so on and so forth. Um, you got anything for that?
I love it. I think that's the way. I mean, especially if you want a certain lifestyle,
Mhm.
I think that's the way you have to move. You have to think
Mhm.
like that. It
Mhm.
goes back into one of our previous segments of mindset.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if your thought process is whatever I have, I'm going to take it and multiply it,
Mhm.
then that's everything. I mean, I think that's exactly, and I learned this from I know you heard me reference him before, Dr. Miles Monroe, but I learned that, people always look at that verse in the Bible and they say, the Lord said to be fruitful and multiply, and they're thinking just reproducing with one another. And
Because
it's
people
like,
are nasty, man. People are just
it's
nasty.
like, it's like, being fruitful and multiplying. He's talking about being fruitful with, what he's blessed you with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your,
Yeah.
however you earn your living,
Hmm.
be fruitful and multiply that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll take it here, man. If you got a garden or a fruit tree, and it's bearing fruit, and your garden is being very productive, to the point that you can't even eat it all. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I got a neighbor who has a garden, and every now and then he'll bring tomatoes and cucumbers and just sit them on my porch. You know what I'm saying? And the first time he did, I'm like, "What in the world? Where did this come from?" You know. uh, and then he told me later, "Hey, did you get that?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." And he said, "Oh, I put that over there." "Oh, okay." He said, "If I ever have any extra, I don't want to throw it away, so I'll just probably bring it." I'm like, "Man, that's great." I said, "I appreciate that." So yeah, what he's doing is being fruitful and multiplying, because his garden is so produces so much that he can't even eat it all. So he gives it to the neighbors around him. So it's a beautiful
Oh,
gesture. Go ahead, bro.
and if I may add just one, and I think it might be more of a bullseye.
Uh-huh.
Based on that, that's a great example. It sets me up as, ladies and gentlemen, that is a form of tithing.
Boom. Boom. All right. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next one. uh, are you in a position and ready to be with a high quality money earner? Um, what do you got for that, bro?
Man, I think you definitely have to, yeah, you have to, if you want this, you want that, you have to put yourself in a position
Mm-hmm.
that would, be able to attract that person's attention, right?
Boy, boy.
So, like, common themes are, I gotta take it here, okay? I'm sorry, ladies. I love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all, okay? But I gotta say this: if you dress in a provocative way,
Mm,
and you're the type of woman, as most women would, like to have a man that earns a certain, level of income or a certain status,
mm-hmm.
you have to understand that if you're dressing in that way, that guy is not necessarily paying you any mind. And I just have to tell you that, because, and if he is paying you any mind, it's for reasons that you don't even want him to be paying you any mind for.
Boy, boy.
So you can't operate in a circle that says I'm easy and I don't deserve a high quality earner, but expect to actually have that high quality earner, right? So
Man.
it's just an example, but I hope an effective one.
I'm gonna go Dave Chappelle for a second.
Okay.
He's got a comedy joke that he tells, uh, that he's describing a woman that dresses a certain way,
Uh-huh.
and I guess when he was talking about it, someone got irritated about him uh, using that as a description. So he's like, okay, so let's say I go outside and I dress up in an officer's uniform, and
Hmm.
people are having emergency situations. They coming to me, expecting me to come to the rescue just because I have an officer's uniform on.
Hmm.
And he's like, well, I'm not an officer. He's like, I can't help you. And they're like, what? What do you mean? You got the uniform on? He's like, well, I may have it on, but it doesn't mean I'm an officer, right? So he was making a strong point because women that dress that way, they may not be that way, but they certainly look that way. Uh, so I'm gonna
Guilty
go.
by association.
Absolutely, I'm gonna go here, bro. Some women, I'll say it like this: the women that do that, go out dressed provocative, for whatever reason, that's what they do. But they're gonna get a whole lot of different response. But this is a response that I've noticed when they come out the house and they get in the public, and people look at them like what they're presenting themselves as. Then all of a sudden they want to cover up. You know what I'm saying? You knew when you left the house
Absolutely.
that you didn't have a bra under there and you're shaking all over the place and you're poking all out. You know what I mean? You knew
Absolutely.
when you left the house, your drawers was all up in your butt. You know what I mean? You knew that.
Right.
Because you were standing in the mirrors, you know what I'm saying? And then you go out, then you feel embarrassed.
Right.
And then the very person that you're trying to attract is kind of turned off. I'll say this, bro. In my travels in life, the strongest presentation of a woman I've ever experienced, I didn't even know she was present. I wasn't looking, but I smelled the perfume she had on.
Wow.
And it turned my head.
Right.
And it got my attention, bro. And she was dressing really nice, like professional.
Right.
And I was like, you know what I mean? Y'all go with that. Because that, to me, that's the strongest impact ever. What you got, bro?
Man, I 100% agree.
2 times. Uh-oh, 2 times. Let's go.
I mean, dude, presentation is so much, man. It how you present yourself is how the world is going to receive you. So if you present yourself in a way that's tasteful, again, you didn't even see her initially, but you smelled her scent and you were like, well, who is that?
Right.
It just like attracted you, like a magnet kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Now the irony of what we're saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that a woman like that who presents herself like that is going to attract that type of thing. She's going to attract that high quality earner.
Boom. Point blank. Bullseye. Double bullseye. Next one. Are you willing to make the change mentally, physically, and emotionally to be with a high quality money earner or become a high quality money earner? What you got for that, bro?
Yeah, that's basically changing your whole aura and ambiance. Because it's changing every piece of makeup that comes with your body, whether it's emotional or physical, mental, even spiritual, right?
Right.
You've got to be willing to change your way of thinking. You've got to be willing to change maybe your physiology. You've got to be willing to change, how you perceive spirituality. And you have to be emotionally stable.
That's a big one, bro. I don't think people realize how big emotionally stable is, especially today, because a lot of people just aren't.
Right.
Some of the conversations I have, man, and I'm like, oh my God, you are in bad shape up there, seriously, bro. That one. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was just gonna make a 2-word statement: chemical imbalance.
Yes, absolutely, man. And I kid you not, man. Some of the conversations I have with certain people, I turn and walk away, and I'm like this. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? Are you serious? People are thinking that way. They're saying that type of stuff.
Right.
What are your thoughts, man? Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely, man. You see it all the time, man. You might just have a even have a conversation with someone you don't know. Maybe just have a simple conversation with someone at a grocery store,
Mm.
and you're thinking that person might be cool, and then when they open their mouths, you're like,
Whoa.
why did I talk to you? You know?
Yeah, I'm ready to run the opposite direction. Run, drop everything, and just go. Man, some people need therapy, bro.
Absolutely.
Therapy's not a bad thing if it's helping you. You feel me?
Right.
Um, so we got a couple more. I appreciate y'all for hanging around and checking us out and supporting us.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
absolutely. So number 14, uh, we can no longer settle for a mediocre life. What do you think about that statement, bro?
I think that's a great statement
Mm.
because if you find yourself settling for a mediocre life,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're just simply existing. You're not living. You're just existing. There's just you, your days probably fly by, and there's no pizzazz. There's nothing that really makes you tick.
Mm.
Nothing that really makes you want to even inspire you to do better.
Wow.
which is a tough way to be, right?
Mm. I'm gonna go here, bro. I think this is very relevant to what we're talking about. We mentioned a baby before, but I'm gonna talk about an infant because when you look at an infant, man, they got so much energy. They're so full of life. They're getting into all types of stuff. They just want
Mhm.
to play. They just want to eat everything. They want to play so much. They want to do all this fun stuff. They're wearing their parents out. But that's the energy that we're born with, right?
Right.
And you look at people later on in life, the couch potatoes, you know what I'm saying? And I will admit, sometimes I'm a couch potato, but that's because I've had a long, hard day and I don't want to do nothing but just sit down and relax and kind of unwind with a movie. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in
And
place for everything.
yeah. And I might add some chips or something like that or cookies, But it's time for me to unwind and just forget about everything for a minute. But I still got high energy. I'm just using it in different areas. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times I see people that lose that high energy, man, in life, and they just,
They don't have any motivation for anything.
man,
Yeah.
dude, and people, this is from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I think everybody suffers at this as they get older. Your metabolism slows down. You know what I'm saying? You might pick up a couple pounds or two, here and there, and we got to get that energy back. We got to find a way to get that energy back and keep that energy and build it because that's life.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, bro. What you got?
I love that, man. Understanding that obviously, like you said, as you get older, you do slow down, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to stop. And I think a lot of people are in the mind state of, I've already done what I'm going to do in life, and I'm just going to coast the rest of the way through. And it's kind of like, you don't want to really coast, though. I mean,
No.
you definitely want to have your relaxation time. You've worked hard probably your whole life, and that's cool. So, but you want to definitely continue to still get better, right? You still want to be able to build. You want to still be able to build your mind, your thought process, all of that. So, I mean, just because you slow down doesn't mean you have to stop. You just have to kind of, build in a different way.
Dude, there it is. There it is for real. I got nothing for that, man. That was perfect. Last one of the day, yo. Again, thanks for hanging around and listening to us and support us. We're going to come with something for you. We got so much stuff for you. It's ridiculous. It's just piling up. The last one of the day, 15. We can no longer allow our old habits, our old environment, or our old thought process to continue to keep us from the high quality money or lifestyle legally. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
In other words, we have to get out of our own way.
Mm,
I think we have to understand that just because we were born into something, and I think the beauty of it is I'm a huge believer in one being a product of their own environment,
hmm.
but I also think that it can also work for one's benefit.
Absolutely.
Just because, um, I think most people, do tend to find themselves in a situation of this is all I know, and they don't know any better. I don't think they intentionally intend to just stay where they are, but they literally don't know any better.
Hmm.
And for them, that's what it is, right?
Right,
But
right.
I think the diamonds in the rough,
Hmm.
or the people that can find a way to make a large impact, even if it's just in their own life, right? They're the
Absolutely.
ones who said, okay, this is where I came from.
Hmm.
This is not the way I'm leaving up out of here.
Boy. And on another note, bro, where you from might be your strong point, and because maybe the rest of the world don't know about you. And I'm gonna highlight some music groups that kind of hold that tone. What about Nelly? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He introduced the world to country grammar.
Right.
uh, Outkast, you know what I'm saying? They introduced the world to a whole nother flavor in music, especially hip hop. Um, NWA, you know what I'm saying? They
Right.
literally talked about their everyday lifestyle and blew up, and now they're in the Rock Hall of Fame.
Right.
Making movies. It's crazy, man. Uh, LL Cool J, Run DMC, New York, Queens. Uh,
Stand up.
yeah, man. So what you have where you're from may be your strong point. You know what I'm saying? And you can deliver something that nobody else can because they're not from there. However, if you deliver it to your fullest ability with all your energy, guess what? The world's gonna respect it. What you got, bro?
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. I, if we literally all walk into our purpose,
Hmm.
uh, I think honestly, God knows what He's doing, and what I mean by that is, I think each and every last one of us are meant to do something that
Hmm.
only each and every last one of us are meant to do.
Boom.
So I think that if we keep that in mind and we really try to continue to pursue the best version of ourselves,
Hmm.
we'll ultimately, achieve that and realize that dream.
Hmm.
But if we don't, you know, I think I'll kind of end my statement with this. It's a J. Cole quote, actually.
Okay.
Um, Life don't come around often. The only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin.
Boy, that put the stamp on it for real. Man, live your life to the fullest every day, ladies and gentlemen. Give it all you got. You know what I'm saying? Go for it. Why not? You
Right.
feel me? Hey, originality rules, but more importantly, effort and action is supreme.
I love that. I
Hey,
love that.
that's what I got. That's what's going on. Poetics, you got anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us and hanging with us for over an hour and a half. We appreciate y'all.
Hey, always and forever, and we'll be back. We got more for you. I kid you not. We got so much material, and we got some projects that's going to be dropping soon. I'm currently working on a documentary that's going to take me literally to the other side of the world and back. Uh, my man Poetics is working on poetry. I'm working on poetry. We're working on poetry. Uh, it's just a bunch of things just coming forth, y'all. And I really thank you for your support so far because we grinding, we losing sleep, we tired, but we ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? we pressing the gas button.
Oh man.
We're putting the foot down on the gas. But thank you so much, y'all. Please have a great day. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace.